Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you out to the shed of many names on this late night where we're going to talk about how to make your own cold brew concentrate. You can make regular cold brew coffee or you can make cold brew concentrate and be able to make more of the mix. Now, let's do a little talk here. Make sure that your work area is clean and sanitized and don't hit your tripod either. Um, I'm going to be making two double batches, two different kinds of coffee. I'm going to need a measuring cup and also a funnel to get the coffee into the jars. The first one I'm going to be working with, you want to work with a medium roast to anywhere from a medium to a dark roast. That way you get more flavor out of the cold brew. Also, you will get less acidic uh, coffee doing it cold brew. And if your coffee has more floral or fruity notes, cold brew is not for you. You want the richer, darker, like chocolate flavors and so on of the coffee will come out in cold brew easier. It just takes patience for cold brew. Now, what I'm going to be doing, the way I mix mine is 1 cup of coarsely ground whole beans to 4 cups of cold filtered water. And we're going to get started on the grinding. I'm not going to I'm not going to grind, make y'all sit through all the grinding of the coffee. And you want to try to get single uh, batch beans. This is a Kona blend. So, yeah. But it turns out really good. It does. Okay. Excuse me. Now, since I'm going to be doing a double batch, I'm using half-gallon jar. I'm going to want 2 cups of uh, coarse ground coffee for the half a gallon, because it'll take 2 cups of the coarse ground coffee to 8 cups of water, and my half gallon holds the 8 cups of water. So we're going to do one more. You want to fill your grinder up to where your coffee bean level is supposed to be. Now, you cannot use just regular store-bought pre-ground coffee uh, for like your regular coffee pot for cold brew, because it's too fine. It'll clump and it'll give you a lot of trouble. Now there's quite a few companies that sell cold brew ground coffee. You can use that, but just remember that's their opinion and that's a good blend. You might have like a medium roast or medium dark roast or dark roast that you really like. If you can get that in whole bean, then you can grind your own. And of course, the fresher roasted bean, the better, but sometimes you just can't help it. And you want it coarse ground because it'll be easier to strain. Alright, I'm right there at the 1 cup mark, and I will bring you back when I get to the 2 cup mark. See you here in a bit. Okay, I have my 2 cups of the Kona blend ground up, and I'm going to put it in the first jar. I know it seems like a lot of coffee. It is. Now, I know some purists will have a heart attack, but depending on what they look like at the end of the cold brew process, there's a good chance I will run it a second time. I know a lot of people go haywire about that, but I know for a fact all of that does not get pulled out by the water. Second batch might be a little weak, but you know what? I'll use it straight. Okay. Now, if you're making just one batch, you don't have to label your jar, but I'm doing a double batch with 2 different kinds. That way I can keep up with it. Now, we're just going to call this one Sumatran, because I'm not going to murder that last one. And that's... Oh, that smells good. Same thing I'm going to do with this one. And you can tell this is a dark roast, a medium dark roast, because of the beautiful darkness of the beans. And of course you'll have a few whole beans, but that's okay. They will still leach out flavor, and that's a lot of times why I do a second batch with the grounds. Alright, I'm going to go on and grind up 2 cups of this one, and I'll bring y'all right back. Okay, I have the 2 cups of Sumatran ground up, and into the second jar it goes. Now, I was going to say, for those who might be interested, you can also grind this up for cold brew, vacuum seal it in a Mylar bag, and then that way if you have to bug out, you don't have to worry about heating water up. You can just use cold water and add it into a jar that's tightly sealed in your backpack and keep going. Okay, now let's write the name on this one. Sumatra. Okay, now reason I ground it up out in the shed, it's late night, and well, family might not enjoy me blending up coffee in the house. I'm going to take it inside because my filtered water is in the house, and that way, I can show y'all how to finish it up. Now, if you want to, you could add a little vanilla at the moment. Now, don't add any sweetener. Leave that once Leave that to add to it once the cold brew process is over. You can add a little vanilla, real vanilla. If you wanted to, you could grind up coarsely, of course, uh, cocoa nibs, which is all natural cocoa beans. Add that to it. Now, it will make it just a little bit bitter, but yeah, this is when you would kind of do uh, a little bit of flavorings if you wanted to. I usually don't. I wait and do that once it's done. Now, you're going to want to once you put the water in it, and I'll show you in the house, you're going to want to let it set for 18 to 24 hours, either on your counter if you have a colder house, or in your refrigerator. And we're fixing to head in the house, fill these babies up with some filtered water, and I'll bring y'all right back for that process. See you here in a bit. Wanted to show you before we head in the difference. See how dark that is? That's your medium dark roast right there. See how lighter colored this one is? This is your medium roast. Now, if you like a stronger coffee, use the medium dark roast. If you like a less strong coffee, use the medium roast. Light roast is not good for cold brew at all, unless you just have to have the light roast. That's the only time you should use the light roast, if you just absolutely have to. Now, if you have to use decaffeinated, you will do the same process. Get your decaffeinated beans and coarse grind them yourself. Now, if you wanted to do this in a quart jar, you would use 1 cup of the coarse ground coffee to 4 cups of filtered water. You don't have to make a big jar like this, or you could make an even bigger jar if you wanted to. Just remember the ratio: 1 cup of coarse ground coffee beans to 4 cups of water. This is still a concentrate, and I will show you how to mix it down once it's ready. So now we're going to head into the house. Okay, we are back in the house, and we're going to fill up the jars. And like I said, filtered water. You want to use good water, not tap water. Oh, you should smell this. Oh, it smells so good. And I've got my water filled up. Let's see how much it went down. Not a whole lot, but I'm going to add some more. Make sure you get it all off the rim. Okay, and this is a half-a-gallon jar. That's 2 cups of coarse ground coffee and 8 cups of water. And we're going to set it right there for now. On to the next one. You can tell this is the dark roast. You want to break up any air pockets, any pockets of dry coffee. And for those who can't take the acidity of coffee, this is one way to be able to drink your coffee without the acidity in it. Because it's the hot water that brings out the acid in the coffee. Now don't think the coffee is not going to be strong, because it's going to be strong. That's why this is a concentrate. And you want to break it up really good. See, that went down quite a bit. Now, there's a good chance that your water level will go down. You can add enough water back into it. That way you get your full amount of water in there. Okay. And you see how dark it is already. Now, it's your choice. You can store it on a counter in your kitchen, or you can put it in your fridge. Either or. You're going to want to shake it every once in a while. Make sure it's all getting blended real good, no air bubbles. And make sure that your water level doesn't drop too low. 18 to 24 hours from now, and I'll bring you right back when that's done. See you after a while. Welcome back. It's been about 22 hours. I got busy, and plus I have brewed coffee, so that can be a problem. But it's said 22 hours is not a problem whatsoever. It can go up to 24. Now, let's have some fun and let's get to straining the cold brew coffee. And I did end up adding a little more water to it. And I have been agitating the jars to make sure look how beautiful that is. Ooh, I stuffed that in the nick of time. Now, there are some supposed to be mesh bags that you can squeeze your coffee grounds in. I'm not about to do that. I'm so not about to do that. And I can see that the coffee grounds still have plenty of life in them. So yes, I will be doing a second brew. have a little over 6 cups of cold brew concentrate. You got to remember, this is a concentrate. Now, if you drink a lot of espresso, you can go for it straight. But I like to make mine last longer. It's not making much of a difference. Alright, just so you know, you're going to end up with a little more. And plus the coffee took up room as well. So, that's going to give me 6 cups of concentrate. A little hair over. We're going to go and mark that Kona. And we done this 8, 27, 23. Now, it's going to be best to store these in your fridge once they're strained. And you can go up to 2 weeks. I do not go over 7 days, 1 week. I'm lucky if it even lasts 3 days. Let's be truthful. Okay. And like I said, they still have plenty of life in them. And they smell really strong. So yes, coffee fanatics, give me a break. I'm not wasting it. Alright, I'm going to fill this jar back up to the 8 cup mark. I'm going to rinse out my strainer and my funnel, and I'll bring y'all right back. Okay, I'm ready for the second one, which is this Sumatran. Ooh, yeah, that's good and strong. Nope, I knew that wasn't going to work. My hand's acting up. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm going to have to do it a different way since the tendonitis is trying to act up. Well, maybe not. There we go. I got partial in there. There we go. Now I can do it. I'm going to let that drip, clean up my mess. I'll be right back. Alright, got that hot mess cleaned up and done. I ended up with a little more of the Sumatran, the dark roast. The medium roast, I didn't get as much back, but that's fine. And I have both of my original jars filled up and brewing already. So, now, let's talk about how to mix. Okay. Now, if you want like a espresso, you can just go on and do 1 cup and that'll be fine. Now, if you're making regular cold brew coffee and you want a latte, you're going to use 1 cup of the concentrate to 1 cup of whole milk or whatever you use. Whatever kind of the other milk you use. Now, If you use the already sweetened flavored creamers, I would go on and mix 1 cup of the concentrate and little more than 3/4 cup of water because you don't use as much of that liquid creamer. So let's get busy mixing. I'm going to do 1 cup, put the lid on. I'm going to do just a hair more than a 1/2 cup of water, and I like 1/2 and 1/2. I will either use 1/2 and 1/2 or whole milk. Now, this is cold brew. You don't really want to heat it up unless you just want to. It's going to be hard as can be to sweeten it with regular sugar because it's cold, folks, or room temperature, but in here it's cold. What I do is I make simple syrup, which is easier. Good grief. I'm going to roll, I tell you. And I probably used a little more than I wanted to. Oh well, Wilford Brimley can come after me later on. And for us Generation X and older, you'll catch that comment, the meaning of that comment. Now, mine is more like a kind of like a latte, but not really. But I tend to like mine with a little more milk or 1/2 and 1/2 in it. So, let's see how it is. Oh my gracious, that's good. That is so good. I don't get to make cold brew very often. It is amazing. It's going to be stronger probably than you're used to. It's not as acidic. Hold on, let me get another drink. Because I don't want that to get lonely and think I don't want it. But simple, easy. You just have to have patience, y'all. Patience. And remember, once you strain your cold brew after it's done brewing, then you just take, depending on how big of a kick you need of coffee, you can use this straight. It's going to be strong, or 1 cup of the concentrate to 1 cup of water, however you want to sweeten it, or 1 cup of concentrate to 1 cup of uh, milk. I'll have the mixtures in the description box below. Now, for prepping purposes, when it does eventually hit the fan, you can have these, like I said previously, already coarse ground, vacuum sealed in Mylar bags, and ready to brew in cold water. Because we can't always guarantee that we're going to be able to start a fire to boil water to make regular coffee. But simple, easy, and above all else, it's homemade, y'all. You know exactly what's going into it, and yeah, and it tastes so good. Now, good grief, a Jane of hair wasn't in my coffee, it was on my hand. Alright, okay, I labeled that. I need to label this one. Definitely label them so you know which one they are if you're making different batches. Matron 82723. And personally, they don't make it that long, but a lot of people don't realize coffee can go bad. Coffee will grow mold, y'all. Y'all just have to know what you're doing. I don't know why it's so bright. Me and this halo thing. Simple, easy. Chain and just walk through the tripod. Simple, easy. You can do this. It's a wonderful treat, and like I said, when you're brewing it, you can add a little vanilla to it. You want to add no sweetener because that'll mess up its brewing. But yeah, and then if you wanted to, instead of storing it like this, you can go on and mix it up. I had a little over 6 cups of the concentrate. If you have a good bigger like tea jar or a bigger jug, you can pour your concentrate in and put the same amount of water in it or a little bit less if you're going to add milk. And that way you can go in and add your milk and your sweetener and everything to it. All you have to do is just pour it when you're ready. But these two, now that they've strained, they have to be stored in the refrigerator. Simple, easy, homemade, the way it should be. I hope you enjoyed this video and it encourages you to stop paying all that money for that cold brew and make it yourself. It's simple. You can do it. You just have to believe in yourself. Please continue to stock your pantries with food that will nourish and sustain you. Remember, drinks and coffees and teas because you're going to get tired of drinking water real quick. Continue to stock up your medicine that will heal you, your protection, and the bare necessities. Everyone, take care, and may you each be blessed. Hoot, hoot. I'll see you soon.